Welcome to episode 4 of the Three Guys on a Record podcast. I'm your host, Coach K, co-host Brad and Doug. And today we're going to have a special guest. Her name is Carole. Wave to the camera. All right, on today's episode, we've got a brand new segment called Glam or Sham with our special guest, Carole, who we just mentioned. We're going to do another segment of Song Smash, Who Did It Better? We have a fan shout out of the week. We're going to dive into Diamond Dave or Red Rocker, who's better, David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar. And then we're going to go back to our Fishing with Flashbacks segment, Glam or Sham, with our special guest, Carole. Our special guest, Carole, needs to pick which one is the real glam rock band and which one is the sham. First up, we have Cycle Sluts from Hell and Paris Lipstick.
Oh my gosh. They both look fake.
Which one's the real band?
Neither one.
One is real.
No. I'm going to go with Paris Lipstick. That sounds fun.
Is that your final answer?
Oh my.
Sham.
Paris Lipstick.
Next up, we have Bangkok
Nixon.
Tricks or Kick X.
Okay, nobody is actually named Kick Axe. I'm going to go with Bangkok Trick.
Actually, somebody is called Kick Axe.
Oh my.
Oh, you're 0 for
I'm
Carole.
so good
Come
at
on.
this.
Next up, we have Brittany Fox
Oh, I've heard of that one.
or Tokyo Gang.
Brittany Fox, that's real.
You've heard of that one?
I heard of that one.
From what?
I don't know. I just remember thinking it sounded like a girl band, but it's not.
Are you sure? Final
No.
answer.
You are correct. It's Brittany
You
Fox.
got me second guessing myself.
I'm
Hey,
just
you got
surprised
one.
you remembered or heard that one.
Well, because it sounds like girls.
Every Mother's Nightmare,
Oh my gosh.
Swollen Middle Finger.
Come on, Carole.
Which
You
one's
got this.
real? Every Mother's Nightmare is real. That looks like a real one.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like a real band?
No.
Swollen Middle
They
Finger?
look like they're just faking it.
That's
That's
actually
Mötley Crüe. And you were right, though. It's Every Mother's Nightmare.
Oh, that's good.
Mercy Flush or Shark Island?
Ooh. Let's see. I think Shark Island should be the name of a band.
It should be? Why?
Yeah. I don't know. It sounds fun.
Not Mercy Flush?
What is it? Flushing a toilet or
Doug, what's a Mercy
it's
Flush?
when you flush the goldfish down the toilet or what?
Doug can explain what a Mercy Flush is.
Do I want to know?
You're trying to get rid of the evidence as quick as possible, so to speak.
Shark Island, you're right.
Sounds good.
Hey, you got 2.
Pretty Bullet or Bitch?
Wow. Huh. They both look kind of real. Let's go Pretty Bullet.
Pretty Bullet is actually hard.
Oh,
Bitch is
So
the
all
real
the pictures
band.
are of real bands. It's the
are
band
they
names
really?
that-
Oh,
it's the
okay.
band-
Okay.
It's the names that are made
Next
up.
up is
Like,
enough,
really?
like, or enough is enough.
Okay, enough's enough. That should probably be like a rap band. So I'm gonna go with like. No?
Like
You
was
thought
actually
it.
love hate. Enough's enough is the real band.
Really? It sounds like a 80s rap
And
group.
the singer's name is Chips Enough.
Kill for Thrills or Munich Choir Boys.
I've heard you talk about Kill for Thrills.
You have?
Yeah, I've heard that one. That's real.
When did I talk about Kill
I
for
don't
Thrills?
know, but that just I think I've heard that before.
You never heard me talk about Munich Choir Boys?
Munich Choir Boys.
Right. You're going with Kill for Thrills?
I'm gonna go for that. Yeah.
You are correct.
Okay.
'Cause that one's actually London Choir Boys.
Is it spelled like that too?
Yes. But Kill for Thrills, I have probably talked about.
Yeah. I listen.
Wow. Pretty Boy Floyd or Danger Snakes.
Danger Snakes.
Danger Snakes.
Danger
is real.
Snakes is real.
Danger Snakes is actually White Snake. Pretty Boy Floyd is the real band.
Doug's dropping things.
He spilled his beer.
Pretty Boy Floyd, that's
Yeah.
real. Is that really real?
Yes. Doug and I actually went and saw them.
Did you really?
Yes.
I guess I don't listen.
Loaded Diaper
Oh,
or
no.
Dangerous Toys.
No. Loaded Diaper is from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So Dangerous Toys.
Really?
Yes. That's from Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
You are correct. So you are correct. Dangerous Toys was actually, I believe, in that same show as Pretty Boy Floyd that we went to. Doug
Yep.
can correct me or not. Puff or Memphis Grizzlies?
Oh my gosh. Those both. Memphis
Come on.
Grizzlies. Memphis Grizzlies.
Memphis Grizzlies. Jack might have one back here.
No
It's
way.
actually a basketball.
No.
Tough is the band.
Tough is a real band.
Yes.
You're so tough.
I hate kissing you goodbye. You probably heard that song.
Maybe.
LA Gangs or Zodiac Mind Warp and the Love Reaction.
Zodiac Mind Warp.
You didn't hear me talking about LA Gangs at all?
I don't know. I'm guessing that's, I don't know. That sounds, oh.
LA Gangs is actually LA Guns. But yes, Zodiac Mind.
Yeah, that just sounded crazy enough and long enough that it had to be real.
Dragon Bites.
Oh my gosh.
Or
really?
Love Blast.
Dragon Bites.
Is real?
Yeah.
In that same show, I believe we saw Love Blast.
These should be real ones. Those are fun.
Yeah, Love Blast opened up for Lynch
Killer
Mob.
Dwarfs or Lickin' Box.
Wow. One of those is actually real.
One of these is actually real.
Lickin' Box.
Actually, Dawkins. Killer Dwarfs is real.
Killer Dwarfs, are they like actually short? What's the story? What's the story behind that?
Doug will.
What's the story behind that, Doug?
I'll have to research it. I don't...
Velvet Switchblade, Steel Panther.
Wow. Steel Panther.
Steel Panther.
That's real. Yeah.
And they were on America's Got Talent too. You've
Really?
seen them, yep. Velvet Switchblade is actually Velvet Revolver.
Okay, so that sounds fake too.
I think this might be our last one. Tiger Tails, Steel Dragon.
Steel Dragon.
Is real?
Steel Dragon's real.
It's real only if you watch a movie with Mark Wahlberg.
Those guys' hair right there, that's real.
That's Tiger Tails.
How many did I get wrong?
I'll have to add it up later, but
Spandex Thunder.
that's the one. That's the one AI came up with for us.
So the singer from Tough looks a lot like Janie Lane in that picture. I've heard some rumors that the guys in Poison reached out to him to fill in for Bret Michaels with all of the hubbub going on, but I don't know if that's anywhere near true. I think he could pull it off, but that's a good. Let's spread some fake rumor stuff around. So the one on the far right, is that Zach Wilde?
Yep.
Because Jeff Pilson's over on the far left from Dokken.
Yeah.
But I don't remember who.
Who's this then?
I thought Blas Elias was the drum. Oh, he was the drummer in Mark Wahlberg's tribute band before Steel Dragon brought. That's what's his name from Bonham. John Bonham's kid, Jason Bonham.
Jason Bonham.
The guy in the back is just an actor. So shout out to one of the viewers that pointed out one of my faux pas. So when we were talking about Blackie Lawless, and I had stated that Blackie Lawless and Nikki Sixx played together in London. It was actually the band prior to London in Sister that they played together. And then some of the members of Sister went on to form London. But I don't believe Blackie was part of that, but Nikki was. So in effort of transparency, I was on the right track, but technically wrong. So kudos to the guy that spotted that.
Yeah, and if we ever get anything wrong, go ahead and let us know. I mean, we're human, and it is possible we could get one wrong. And actually, it's good interaction for us to learn about it. Sometimes our 50-plus-year-old memories are going a bit. All right, so we have our song smash, Who Did It Better? Today, Mötley Crüe or Skid Row, and both songs are Rattlesnake Shake.
Rattlesnake shake, 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 shaking like a rattlesnake. Boom, boom, baby.
Going into it, I originally was like, oh, this will be easy. Skid Row all the way. Then I gave the Mötley version another listen, and then I listened to it a second time, and then I listened to it a third time. I'm like, wow, I overlooked this tune a little bit too much when it came out. It's got a good groove. And by the end, I'm like, now this ain't so cut and dry. I mean, I still probably do the Skid Row just by hair for the aggression and a little bit more rawness. Kudos to Mick Mars and coming up with that, groovy riff and some slide guitar in there. So yeah, it was close.
I don't have a ton more to add. I think I agree with Doug 100%. It is very close for me. And if I had to pick one, I'd probably give the edge to Skid Row just because I like Sebastian's vocals better than Vince. I'm kind of surprised surprised that neither one of the record companies for these albums released these songs as singles. I think they're both strong enough that they could have, if they would have been made into an MTV video, they would have gotten some airplay and some traction. They sound like songs that were meant to be played live, arena, get on the radio, get some airplay, and then maybe the masses would have decided which ones they liked better. I'd really like to hear from our viewers what they think, if it's as close as we think, or if the fans are picking one way or the other. But I think it's a really tough call for me, and it's hard to pick one. But Skid Row would be my
When
lead.
Doug was talking, it was like I felt like the opposite of this, because you guys know how much I loved Mötley Crüe back then when this album came out. It was everything to me. And Skid Row has got a fun groove, good guitar. A little breakdown that's short and sweet. Mötley Crüe, I absolutely love both of these albums, but I lived and breathed Mötley Crüe. They have a breakdown as well. Both can be a little repetitive. Mötley Crüe more because it's a little longer, and both kind of saying the same thing, which is ironic that they come out not too far apart. Not a great solo by Skid Row, but there's no solo in Mötley Crüe's, which surprised me. I feel like I remember there being a solo, but
Mick was out that day.
he was. I'm going to surprise myself here, but both the groove and the lyrics, I favor Skid Row. I really thought going into this I would pick Mötley Crüe. The line, "She's a sweet little cheese when the cat's away," I love that. That was great. But Prince Charming ain't in fashion. Another good line. And then with Mötley Crüe, I'm not so sure about calling 976 and letting his hand do the rest. It was just not a great visual, and I don't know if I've ever really picked up on that. I'm gonna have to go with Skid Row. It sounds like we got a clean sweep again this week. 3-0 Skid Row.
Yeah, I just want to throw a honorable mention out there to Aerosmith, who had a version of Rattlesnake Shake back in the 70s. Played it on a BBC radio show, and it's almost 10 minutes long. It has a pretty good groove in it. They put it on their Pandora's box set that they released back in the late 80s, early 90s. And it's pretty good. I'd check it out, but it
Yeah, I'll
doesn't.
have to try to find it.
Yeah, doesn't measure up to either one of these two.
As I was listening to these two last night, I think it was Fleetwood Mac or somebody had one too, and I didn't listen to it long enough to give it critique, but
They had a Rattlesnake Shake version. Was it back during the Peter Green days, or was it after Lindsay and Stevie joined?
I got to be a rocking horse.
This one also had me thinking how many songs that are different have the same name. Like I can think of 7 different versions of one between Metallica and U2 and the Bee Gees and Elton John and Three Dog Night. I mean,
so wow, we go 3-0. That surprised me, and I definitely thought going in it was going to be Mötley Crüe all the way. But after listening to them a few times, no way. I picked Skid Row.
But definitely a closer prize fight than the Tesla versus New Kids.
We did get some New Kids fans coming in, some blockheads, I think they call themselves. I don't know. Next up, we got our fan shout out of the week. This week it's Pale Rider. You got his YouTube link right there. Go check him out. Check out his channel on YouTube. A lot of great stuff. He loves music, mostly rock and metal. He records performances from the front of the stage. He hopes to share his experiences with you so that you can enjoy these live music moments captured on film. And thank you for being a fan, Pale Rider.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
One of his videos did end up causing a little bit of a stir. Maybe that would be a good news segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a shout out, and now we find out this guy is
He's more famous than we realized. He's causing a stir amongst the The
Yeah,
metal
now we got a segment that we want to see, who do you prefer? And let's decide once and for all. Is it Diamond David Lee Roth, or is it the Red Rocker, Sammy Hagar?
This one's always been something that people tend to bring up quite a bit. You almost never hear people say, who do you like better, Brian Johnson or Bon Scott? It's just, if you're an AC/DC fan, you just like all of it. But when it comes to Van Halen, for some reason, people tend to put a footnote there. Well, I like the Dave stuff, or I like the Sammy stuff. There doesn't seem to be a ton of people like in the AC/DC crowd that just love both, because I think the sound changed enough with Sammy that people were a little irritated with the change for the most part. But for me, it's a really tough call. If I had to lean towards one, I think I would lean towards the Sammy years, just because those were the more formidable years when I was a teenager. I mean, I was still in grade school when Jump came out, and after that it was all over for Dave. But I've seen Sammy live by himself, and I've seen him live with Van Halen. I never got to see him live with Dave, but ever since Eddie's death back in 2020, there seems to be a little bit more of a, I don't want to say a resurgence, but a look back on the Dave years where the Sammy years. If it wasn't for Sammy doing the Best of Both Worlds tour, there wouldn't really be getting a lot of pub, which I thought was too bad for 4 straight #1 albums. I think those Hagar years really deserve their place in rock history. I don't think they should be forgotten or looked over just because it was a different singer. It's not like when they had Gary Cherone. I'm fine with people forgetting that that era of Van Halen. But Sammy, I mean, for as talented as he was, a singer, songwriter, performer, I thought he added something to Van Halen that they didn't have with Dave. So I prefer the Sammy years, but the Dave years were fantastic too.
Sammy was more of a pure singer in my book than Dave was. To me, Dave had the personality, and I like to think it's like he's like Peyton Manning. He's the guy that's got all the quirky personality, fun to watch, kind of a class clown, decent singer. To me, not in Sammy's range. And I wonder if the people that put down the quote-unquote Van Hagar era and kind of give crap to Sammy, and I wonder if it's because, starting on 5150, Eddie changed up his guitar tone, kind of changed the songwriting a little bit, so some people, prefer the old Brown sound guitar, the way the classic songs sounded, and they associate that with David Lee Roth. And, if they, take the music direction out on Sammy, when it was just a natural progression by Eddie changing sound, want to try different things, been there, done that. And once Sammy came on, then the leash was off, and Eddie's like, I'm writing as many keyboard songs as I feel like it, and no one's going to tell me not to, and go screw yourself, Dave.
I kind of thought going into this that, Doug, you'd be hardcore David Lee Roth, early Van Halen stuff, so I was a little bit corrected.
And that's the hard part when I was going through and making my list. Do I like this song because the guitars and riffs? And I had to really kind of do a mind sharpening here, and it's like, okay, no, concentrate on the singing. I'm comparing one singer to the other, separate the music. It's almost like if I put it in some of my software, it pulls out, extracted the audio or the vocals, and comparing vocal to vocal. That would have made it a lot easier. But it's hard to separate the music from the vocals.
Well, ironically, I like them both. My top 24 Van Halen songs have 12 David Lee Roths and 12 Sammys. I think both bring a lot to the table. I think both have excellent solo stuff. One of my first cassettes when I moved to Neenah, I got at a garage sale.
Where the hell is Nina? Neha! 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 Where the hell is Nina?
Was VOA by Sammy Hagar. I love that cassette, and as a kid, I was 6th grade when I moved there, so hearing the song Dick in the Dirt just always made me chuckle. There's a bunch of them from VOA that I really like. You talked about this, Doug. The constant of Eddie Van Halen made the transition good, unlike Mötley Crüe, but it just felt like a totally different band, whereas this one kind of seemed to transition and then go. And they are both successful for both eras. It's always a very divisive topic, so there's going to be probably a lot of comments in the chat here, either pro or against, even maybe some hate chat, so let's try to keep it respectful. But we really do want to hear your true opinion. And every And every album hit #1 for Van Hagar and none for David Lee Roth. Van Hagar, if you want to say it that way, is a more mature sound, and David Lee Roth was more fun. And ironically, David Lee Roth had more sales, but the only #1 single was Jump. Hagar is more of a musician, and David Lee Roth is more of a showman.
Yep, that's fair.
And, you know, back in those days, I mean, that front guy had to be a showman. But Eddie Van Halen was just so good that it transcended. You didn't need, I didn't say it's a gimmick, but you didn't need a gimmick for your band when you're that talented.
And a lot of the live performances I've seen, it seemed like Sammy was a little closer to the record, put a little bit more effort into it. It seemed, whereas Dave's kind of seemed a little bit more loose, you know, a little bit behind the beat and kind of laid back. And to me, put his 100% effort into the vocals, kind of recreating what you're used to on the record.
So if you're just going for the eras in Van Halen, which singer do you prefer? Do you have a preference?
Oh, yeah, I prefer Sammy.
Okay, and that's same with you,
Yeah,
Brad?
I prefer Sammy.
Like I said, I really don't have a preference. So
And like Brad was talking about the number, you know, the hits. You look at, when I was doing the research for this, and you look at it like, oh, you made 1, 2, and look at all the hits on there. I'm like, holy crap! Until you go through and look at it again, I'm like, holy crap! There's like 5 singles hits that came off this. I mean, this is approaching hysteria level. And I mean, Van Halen had that on Van Halen 1, but like the saying is, you have your whole life to write your first record, and you got 6 months to write the second. You know, so they had all the club days to get their stuff together for that first record.
we're going to now go through our top 10, both David Lee Roth songs and our top 10 Sammy Hagar songs. All right, so first up, I'll talk about David Lee Roth. I got honorable mentions are You Really Got Me.
Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I guess.
Second honorable mention is Beautiful Girls.
Beautiful girls.
Ain't Talking About Love.
Talking about love. Just like I told you before.
California Girls. Can't leave that one off the honorable mentions. And Running with the Devil. And for my Sammy Hagar honorable mentions, Not Enough. Feels So Good.
Hey, feels so good. So good. Woo.
Top of the World.
Standing on top. Oh.
Two Sides of Love.
So why does she cry herself to sleep?
And Give to Live.
If you want love, you got to give a little.
Yeah, Give to Live, good tune. For David Lee Roth, I got Feel Your Love Tonight.
I can't wait to feel your love tonight.
And Just Like Paradise.
This must be just like living in paradise.
For Sammy Hagar, got Give to Live.
You got to give, you got to give, you got to give.
And then I wanted to throw in at least one Chicken Foot record. So I picked Bigfoot.
On the wheel, and my big foot on the gas.
I was wondering if anybody was going Chicken Foot or Montrose.
Yeah, I would say my honorable mentions for the David. I had Everybody Wants Some.
Everybody wants some. I want some too.
Little Guitars. Somebody Get Me a Doctor.
Somebody give me a doctor.
I'll throw Yankee Rose in there.
Show me your bright light in your city lights. All right.
Even though that one might end up in one of your top 10s.
Give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut to go.
The Hagar stuff, I had The Dream Is Over. Yeah, I would have considered some of the Chicken Foot or solo stuff in here as well, but that was just too much into a Van Halen kick going through the Sammy stuff that I think that was another reason that kind of tipped the scales. His solo career and Chicken Foot career is pretty vast. You can almost have a pretty good playlist of just that stuff outside of Van Halen, where David's got the 3 solo albums and the EP, so it's a little less to choose from.
So 10 through 6, start with the Sammy. At number 10, I got Why Can't This Be Love?
Why can't this be love?
And a lot of these it's hard to pick, it's like trying to pick your favorite kid. You love all these songs. Number 9, Right Now. Number 8, When It's Love. Number 7, When Love Walks In. And number 6, Dreams. And for David Lee Roth, at number 10, I had California Girls. Number 9, Just a Gigolo, which I thought really suited Dave's personality and his voice. He really likes to be a crooner.
See it here, live on Dave TV.
Number 8, Damn Good Times.
Good times, damn good times.
Number 7, Where Have All the Good Times Gone? And number 6, Jamie's Crying.
For the Sammy, 10 through 6, I had Can't Stop Loving You. Pleasure Dome. Judgment Day. And Pound Cake. And for number 6, I had Big Fat Money, also off balance. My number 10 for Dave would be I'm the One. 9 would be Running with the Devil.
I live my life like there's no tomorrow.
Cradle Will Rock.
And the cradle will rock. Yes,
7 was I'll Wait. You Really Got Me, Kinks cover on the first album.
girl, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what.
A lot of deep cuts.
Nice.
Cool.
Can't go wrong with any of those.
And even with this whole list, there's no right or wrong answers. There's so many absolute bangers to pick from. It's hard to narrow it down.
It's funny you said Just a Gigolo and Damn Good, because those missed the cut by a smidge. There's just so many good songs. 10 for David Lee Roth. I'll go 10. Oh, Pretty Woman.
Oh, cover tune.
Walking down the street, pretty woman.
Number 9's going to probably shock a lot of you, but Sensible Shoes.
Problem with you. You need some sensible shoes.
8, Just Like Paradise.
This must be just like living in paradise.
7, Dance the Night Away.
Dance the night away.
And 6, Yankee Rose.
Nothing like her in the whole world.
Not in my store, you don't.
Whoa! She's beautiful.
And then for my Sammy, I got number 10, Best of Both Worlds. Number 9, Pound Cake. Number 8, There's Only One Way to Rock.
There's only one way to rock.
Number 7, Can't Stop Loving You.
And no matter what I say or do, you know
Why Can't This Be Love?
it's got what it takes.
Good list.
All right, so top 5 for Dave. I put Eruption in there just because that one is such a legendary song. When you're listening to Van Halen, that one tends to come up and it deserves a listen, especially only being a minute and a half or whatever. Number 4, I had Unchained.
Change, nothing stays the same. Unchained,
Number 3, I had Hot for Teacher.
Sit down, Waldo. I'm hot for teacher.
Number 2, I had Ain't Talking About Love.
My love is right to the core. You're talking about
And number 1, I had Panama. My Sammy stuff, you'll notice kind of a theme with the top 5 Sammy stuff. Number 5 is Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do.
Don't wanna hear what love can do.
But 4 through 1 in this order was Why Can't This Be Love? Love Walks In. Dreams. And 5150. So that album for me was like one of the top best albums of all time that I listened to a ton. And I wish they would have released 5150 as a single because it is my favorite Van Halen song. I think that long intro kind of removed it from consideration from being released as a single, but I think it definitely could have done pretty well.
All right, so my top 5 David Lee Roth. Number 5, A Little Ain't Enough. That one's just so good. Number 4 for David Lee Roth is I'll Wait. Love that song. Number 3 is Jump. Number 2, Hot for Teacher.
What do you think the teacher's gonna look like this year?
And ironically, number 1, Panama. Same number 1 as you. For Sammy Hagar, number 5, and since I'm a big VOA, I Can't Drive 55. Number 4, Love Walks In. And number 3, Dreams. Number 2, When It's Love. And my all-time favorite, not only Sammy Hagar song, but Van Halen song is Right Now. I think partly because when I was coaching football, we did a midnight practice with the high school, and we weren't very good, but we haven't been good since I can remember. But the midnight practice over the loudspeakers, and I'm surprised the neighbors, they don't think they do this anymore, but the neighbor, over the loudspeakers, they played Right Now, and the kids ran out on the field. It's so perfect.
It means everything.
Okay, for my top 5, I'll start with Sammy and the ultimate party song. One shot, hey, mas tequila. Love that song. And
We got a song out of you already.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
I ain't done yet.
All right, here we go.
Sammy, number 4, Your Love Is Driving Me Crazy. Number 3, I'll Fall in Love Again. Number 2, There's Only One Way to Rock. And number 1, the 500-pound gorilla in the room. I can't drive 55. There's dogs howling somewhere. Okay, top 5, David Lee Roth. Number 5, Little Dreamer.
Little dreamer.
A lot of that, I wonder if I love that because I love the oohs and all that in the background. I mean, because that's Ed and doing all the background vocals. Number 4, Yankee Rose.
Forget about it. Ooh, ooh. It's humid in here tonight, isn't it, girls?
What I need right now is the original Good Time Go.
Number 3, Going Crazy.
Don't forget to lock it.
No. Going crazy from the heat.
Number 2, Beautiful Girls.
Had her toes in the sand. Whoa, what a beautiful girl.
And my favorite song by David Lee Roth. Number 1, I'll Wait.
I'll wait.
Till Your Love Comes Down.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is kind of interesting to see that some songs didn't make each other's list that you would expect. What the deeper cuts mean to each of us. In the comments, please put your top 10 at each. Also, that would be great to see what your top 10 David Lee Roth songs and Sammy Hagar songs. I'm glad you did Mas Tequila because it's a party song, and it just, there's so many good songs that I couldn't bump it out of any of it. But any surprises?
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple that, some of you guys had honorable mentions. I'm like, wow, I got that way up in like my top 3.
Doug, for your list, for the Sammy Hagar list, I was a little surprised how many of his solo songs.
Oh, I
You
love
had
the solos. Yeah.
compared to the Van Halen stuff. I think that is a little bit more of an era specific thing for me. Not that I discount any of the Sammy solo stuff, because I love a lot of that stuff that he did before he got into Van Halen. But
you got to remember, Doug is old. He's older than us.
I remember when dirt was invented.
I remember watching the I Can't Drive video 55 on MTV, when he's in the courtroom and he jumps up and catches the guitar and pushes the jail cell down to break out of there. That was when that was on, that was like my favorite video at the time, besides Rock of Ages, when Joe Elliott's swinging that sword around. Yeah, I bet you if I look in my Apple Music library at play counts, I'll probably find some of that solo stuff is a little higher than some of the Van Halen stuff. But when I was listening to those Van Halen albums, they didn't play like individual songs for me. They played like whole albums. That's why I think I had a lot of those songs kind of right next to each other. They're probably more like tiers than top 10 lists. So it was really hard to put the Sammy list together.
Yeah, I mean, I like the exercise. It just was so difficult. I went back and forth and stuff. And actually, a song going into it, I've Done Everything for You. I thought I'd like that one a lot. And then after listening to last night, I'm like, it's not as good as Rick Springfield. I was surprised because I thought that thinking about this, I'm like, oh, there's going to be some Sammy stuff I'm going to put up there. And I thought for sure that one's going to be, I'm like, that's not even close to any of these other ones that didn't even make the cut that are on my list. So.
Yeah, that's always one of those things that I get it fascinates me that when someone can write a song that they feel is their own, and it's like, well, I wasn't able to do what I wanted to with this song. I'll give it away to somebody else, and maybe they can have some better luck with it. And then they take it and they make it their own, and then it's like, oh, what? I gotta give that song away.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that. I don't know if you guys are Chris Stapleton fans, but he writes songs for so many different people. And then when I hear him do his own song that he wrote for somebody else, it's like 10 times better. I'm like, well, why are you doing this? I mean, maybe there's money involved, maybe, or something, but he's a great songwriter. I'm like, he's way better than the people that are doing his songs. But
kind of goes into who considers themselves songwriters first and performers second, the other way around. I don't know that. I mean, Prince wrote more songs than you could possibly imagine. My wife was listening to Sheena Easton last night, and I'm looking, it's like, I remember Prince doing a couple of songs with her, and sure enough, he wrote a couple of her own songs. Sugar Walls was a Sheena Easton song that Prince wrote, and that wouldn't have worked as a Prince song, neither would the Sinead O'Connor one, but Billy Joel and Neil Diamond kind of started out more as songwriters. I mean, I'm a Believer was a Neil Diamond song that he gave to the Monkees, and they made it bigger.
Mhm.
So you can go throughout history and find a lot of that stuff happens all the time.
Well, one last touch on the Van Halen stuff that I talked about earlier. So this is my top Van Halen songs, and that was my base to start. Now it could probably change a bit, but because I did this a few years ago. But as I'm splitting these up into Dave and Sammy categories in the top 24, they were split evenly 12-12. So I, just like AC/DC, I don't have this desire to hate on one side or the other. Instead, I'd rather pick all these songs that I like, and I don't have a problem with Sammy Hagar being in Van Halen, and I don't think he's better or worse. It's just a little different. And like I said before, the constant is Eddie Van Halen, and so you even had just an Eddie Van Halen song that Dave didn't even sing on in your list. So
I'm surprised, Mike, that you didn't bring up the quality of lyrics between Sammy and Dave. And that's one of the things that I like them, because you look at like Sammy, miss the beat, lose the rhythm.
yeah.
Versus, you look at some of Dave's stuff, got drunk and fell into the water. And I'm comparing the lyrics writing. I'm surprised.
I did
being more of a lyrics guy.
Yeah, I did kind of gloss over that a bit, but I did a blanket. Sammy's more mature than David Lee Roth, and David Lee Roth are more fun, more party, that kind of thing. So, although I didn't get into specifics, but I did kind of, hit it with a generalized, and that goes with the lyrics too. I mean, I don't want to be this nitpicky lyrics police every time, but of course that's a part of it for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the quality of the song. Some people, for more than others. It was a good suggestion by Brad. What a good exercise. Even like trying to, narrow it down to 10, even if you're just going to say top 10 Van Hagar songs, there'll still be a bunch of songs that wouldn't make the cut.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many quality ones, just from that era.
I love that our lists have a couple sprinkled in that are similar, but that they're so different. Mm-hmm. So like I love that about music, that it's for whoever it is and how they perceive it, and what you take out of it. I mean, that's my favorite part of music, and I'm never baffled by anybody else's taste, just because it's such a personal thing. So we're back with another episode of Fishing for Flashback. Each of us picked 5 songs that maybe deserve a little attention and a little life pumped back in for another listen. And the first one that we're going to talk about is Little Caesar, Hard Times.
Hard times, trying to earn a living. Hard times.
It's another working band song, which always plays well with the average person. Gritty, bluesy, melodic riffs. I don't know much about this band, but Spotify picked it for me one day. So I was listening to a playlist, and it must have been at the end of it. And then it started playing a couple of songs, and 3 of them are on this list today. I'm like, oh, I really like this. So I'm sure you guys know a little bit more about that, but also I'll let you guys chat on that. But it was just one of those like, okay, I got to include this one.
Yeah, I wasn't real familiar with the song. I mean, I've heard of the band, but on first listen, my first vibes were, well, okay, this sounds kind of like The Cult, and it was, just a great hard rocking song. I really love the long extended guitar solo. I thought it was a good touch. It really worked for me.
Yeah, this one was a good one. I had heard of the band, but I had never heard the song before, so I was glad you included this one, and I did enjoy it quite a bit, so it'll make its way into some of my other playlists of songs like this where we're fishing for flashbacks.
What's funny is that since you brought this segment up of the last episode, there's just so much music out there that I either haven't heard or need to give a little bit more listen to. I feel like there's so much out there now, and I remember our very first episode, we were talking about how do we find new music. Well, there's old music that's new music. There's so much out there. Next up, we have Tangier, On the Line.
That's right, never walk the streets at night.
All right, I remember Four Winds more than this one. I know I've heard this before, but I just didn't recall it as much. He's painting an eerie picture in this song.
In the middle of the darkness, creeping round your door.
To me, the music sounds a little Whitesnake-ish or even Bad Company-ish.
Yeah, this was a really great mid-tempo song. I loved it. It had great big choruses.
You wait for a reason, you're putting your life on the line.
You know, really hit the sweet spot for me. The guitar solo I loved. It was kind of two parts, and I loved, you know, when he dug out the slide, playing some slide guitar on there. That was a good touch to me. Just another, great band from the Philly area. And it came around, you know, Cinderella and Brittany Fox time. Great band.
Yeah, I was really glad that you included this one for a listen, because this was one of those bands that I remember hearing about when they came out and just never got around to giving them a listen. If they weren't being played on the radio or dial MTV, or your friends weren't playing it, you had to go seek it out yourself and never got around to it. So listening to this one for the first time, yeah, like you said, it's like finding new music. The fact that it came out in 1989, it's still new to me if I've never heard it before. So another one that's going to get into heavy rotation for my listening pleasure, because I really enjoyed this one a lot.
Can you get back home?
Now, speaking of heavy rotation, so if the listeners want, we put the link in our YouTube videos for the Spotify playlist that we have for each of the songs we talk about. So that playlist is going to get pretty large as we get going here. But so all these songs will be in one spot. All right, next up we got Taiketo, Forever Young.
Forever young, time on our side. We've got
Really catchy. I would love to hear this live. Lyrically positive about life. We got tomorrow. We got tonight instead of we only got tonight. A lot of songs are oh, we only got tonight. But this one's okay, we got tomorrow too.
We've got tomorrow, we've got tonight.
Despite a tough life.
Yeah, this song, this was the banger out of the five that you picked.
Oh,
I love this one. I love the guitar riff in this. It's real, to me, sounds a lot like Queensryche. Kind of like Empire type riffage. Yeah, just a killer track.
Agreed 100%. Love this song. Unlike the other two that we just talked about from your five, this one was already in one of my heavy rotation playlists. In fact, this whole album is pretty killer. So don't stop with just this song when it comes to Taiketo. In fact, I just recently saw that they're back together and coming out with a new album.
Nice.
They're still at it, so good for them.
So maybe I get a chance to hear it live someday.
I think there's a chance that you can.
And how many songs are out there named Forever Young that are meaningful or whatever? So, I mean, I get it. It's not a unique title necessarily, but I felt this one when I heard it in Spotify. It was catchy enough to immediately put into one of my other playlists. And then when we thought about these Fishy for Flashbacks, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to get this one in there. Next up, we had Driving and Crying, Build a Fire. Catchy. I knew this song from back in the day. I love this album. Breaking out of the boredom. Don't let life steal your snap. You can sing along to it and danceable. The breakdown at the end is pretty cool.
Yeah, this was a good tune. What I like about this band, they're really different sounding. They really have their own sound. They don't sound like anybody else to me. And I loved that it was kind of a three-piece band sound, like a stripped-down sound. It wasn't, layers on layers of guitars. It just sounded, one guitar player, bass player, drummer, all standing in a circle playing. I just really appreciated that.
Yeah, I like this one too. Along with the others, Driving and Crying was, they had a different sound back in the day. I do remember listening to this album. I'd kind of forgotten about this song. Fly Me Courageous was the big one that they had on MTV back in the day that I remember the most. But good band and good song to go back and revisit along with this album.
Okay, right, next up we got Ugly Kid Joe, Cloudy Skies.
These cloudy skies.
All right, so you guys know my love for Ugly Kid Joe. I was gonna do Funky Fresh Country Club, which is my all-time favorite song from them. But then I thought, well, why don't I get one from this album? And I went through them, and like there were so many bangers that are up tempo. But then I thought, instead of the rest of them are kind of up tempo, so I'm gonna pick this one, just because you can feel his exhaustion, like needing the escape.
They don't know me. They don't know me. They don't.
And no one is smiling, not worth sticking around.
It's been a while since anyone smiled.
Just you and I, and the rest of the world seems against you.
A place where we can hide.
I love the mellow, chill vibe of it. I love Whitfield Crane's vocals on this one.
They don't know me, but my name is on.
Yeah, this one was different. I hadn't heard this one, and it makes me, I gotta go back and probably listen to the rest of their tracks. And to me, this sounded, the vibes I got, I'm like, God, this kind of sounds like Leonard Skinner, like the Ballad of Curtis Lowe. It kind of had that slow, bluesy. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm doing. It was so different than Hate Everything About You and Your Neighbors and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go back. Maybe they got more stuff that sounds like this that I'm not aware of, but it was real different.
Keep on taking my heart.
Yeah, it's good to hear a different side of the band than what you would expect or what you would normally associate with their sound. Probably similar to when like Green Day released, or Good Riddance, I think is what it was called, right?
Good Riddance.
Time of Your Life, a song that sounds like not a sound that you would expect to hear from them, but when a band shows that they're versatile and they've got a variety of sounds that goes to their talent. Yeah, I thought this was a good pick for this segment. Good song to go back and listen to, and yeah, check out the rest of their catalog if you're not familiar, because they do have a lot of good songs and a lot of good bangers.
All right, next up we get Alcatraz, Jet to Jet.
So this is one of those songs that it has one of those early 80s metal feel in that genre of, when Iron Maiden was pretty big. Ozzy, Judas Priest. Graham Bonnet was the singer on this album, who had just recently come over from Rainbow and had some success with former Deep Purple guitarist Ritchie Blackmore in that band. And of course, future guitar maestro Yngwie Malmsteen was playing on this track before he went solo. So I thought that this one was a good one to dig out of the archives for some of that. It kind of helped bridge that sound between what was popular at the time and what was about to become more popular. In terms of kind of a little bit more maybe hard rock versus metal type of a sound.
Yngwie was only in the band for the one record in 1 year. So Lars Lannerback, aka Yngwie Malmsteen. I don't know why he had to change. It's like, I always thought that was kind of weird.
Both of them are difficult to say.
Yeah, and right away you can hear, his Ritchie Blackmore influence on the, the verses and all that. So that was prevalent right away. Then, Solo Time, that's Yngwie doing Yngwie stuff. Yngwie only has one speed, full force. The only thing about this song, when I listen to it at times feels to me like Graham Bonnet was just trying too hard, and the vocals are just a little over the top to me. Compared to the rest of the flow of the song. But other than that, early Yngwie, he was only 20 years old when he recorded, so still coming into his own.
I thought it had great guitar. The vocals and lyrics caught me off guard as I'm listening to it, because I'm put these songs in while I was working. And so I'm like, what is he talking about? Slavery? What's he talking about? And then at one point, I thought I heard and I had to pull up the lyrics, and I still hear it sometimes when I'm re-listening to it. So I'm like, Brad, what kind of song did you have me listen to? But I'm not going to say where it is because I want you guys to go back and hear if you can hear that. But it sounds like a Guitar Hero song to me. Great solo. I like how the vocals are talking about the difference in how the two societies live. And I guess it was because they went and played over in Africa or something like that. And the contrast between where they're from and what they saw there or whatever, but hit a little meaning to me as I was listening to it.
I'd just give a shout out to the whole album. I think there's a lot of killer tracks on it. I'm not sure this is even the best song. That first album that Yngwie played on is pretty good.
Next up, we've got King Cobra, Hunger.
Yeah, this is another one of those tracks where I love the whole album. I wanted to give a taste of what their sound is. We had some callbacks in prior episodes to Night Ranger and Blue Murder. These guys actually opened for Night Ranger back in the mid 80s. I think they have a little bit of a, I wouldn't say necessarily similar sound, but they're definitely in that genre where they're not heavy metal, they're more hard rock with the keyboards. They have an album with, if you remember that movie Iron Eagle, that I think came out in '86. They had a song on that album. Blue Murder's drummer, Carmen Appice, was the drummer who started this band after he was, after Sharon told him to go away after the Bark at the Moon tour when he was with Ozzy. So I thought that they put together two really killer albums with this singer. I wanted to get these guys out in rotation and see what you thought.
It's kind of funny you said Iron Eagle because as I'm listening to it, it sounded to me like it could be a montage song in Rocky or like Cobra Kai. Since they're King Cobra, it's like I could see Cobra Kai using this song in some kind of montage. You could tell that they want something so bad in this song. And then I thought a really decent solo.
Killer vocals. I just love the tone of his voice. That it just, right from the beginning of the song, it hits you. So yeah, great track. Carmen Appice, Mick Sweeta, and then later versions of the band, Mark Tureen. So basically, out of the shambles of King Cobra is where the Bullet Boys came from. After that all kind of fell apart, but yeah, killer guitar work.
Next up, we've got Crocus, Screaming in the Night.
Yeah, this is my favorite Crocus song. I think it might have been their most popular back in the day. But this is one that I can play over and over. I've given a lot of the other, I don't know if I'd say a lot of the other, but some of the other Crocus songs a listen, and I didn't feel like they had the same feel as this one. This one really stood out to me as a really great song that stands on its own. So wanted to get this one in the listen area for us.
Sons of vengeance, can you rescue me?
Yeah, this is another killer track. I've had this in my playlist for a long time. I love the imagery of the lyrics.
The wolves were out and howling most of the time.
That stands out to me. The one thing I always, when I think of this song and I see the video, and I don't know if you know the story about them and Susie Snyder, Dee Snyder's wife. So she designed the clothing for Twisted Sister. And so when they were out on tour, and so she was contacted to make the outfits for Crocus. She made them. Mark Strachey came to pick them up, and here just picking up from a woman. He's like, "Okay, thanks. I'm not paying you for them. I'm taking the outfits." And she was left like, "What do I do? I mean, Dee's on tour. Can't call him." Well, being in from Manhattan or Staten Island, her family roots. So she called up somebody, and somebody from a certain family send over a couple guys to have a talk with Mark. He paid up real quick.
Oh, they made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
Oh, yeah. And the other thing, and I don't know if you know it, so Mark Storace, he was originally offered the vocal for AC/DC before they went for Brian Johnson, but he turned it down because Crocus was just up and coming, and he thought they were going to be the next big thing. And in hindsight, it's like the oops.
For me, it feels dark right off the bat with the opening. I liken it to like a Freddy Krueger song, like in a horror movie. The chorus was pretty great. I'm not really sure what the song's about. I tried to figure that out, but trying to tell a story, but I'm not really exactly sure what the story is.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the heck a woe tree is that he was tied up to. You know.
They got me tied up to a woe tree.
Next up, we've got Loudness. We Could Be Together.
Yeah, so for the guitar enthusiasts out there, and for Doug specifically, I wanted to make sure that we hit on this song because the Japanese Eddie Van Halen is front and center in this song, and it has a great sound to it. And I wanted to highlight this one, listen to, and talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, right off the bat, unmistakable Akira tone on the guitar. I could instantly recognize it, even if I didn't know it was a Loudness song. So, and yeah, great guitar work. To me, it didn't seem like the chorus kind of fit the song. A bit. I thought they could have went a different way with it, where it might have fit the tone of the song a little bit.
Well, look who the lyric police is now.
Yeah. Well, you're rubbing off on me, dude. What's up with that?
Ironically, I had this in one of my playlists. It's called Guitar Work. You just said Guitar Work, and the playlist is actually called Guitar Work, and it's just songs that have really good guitar, some Dire Straits and some other ones in there. And so I've had this one in that playlist, so I haven't heard it in a while, but I've had this in there. The solo is really cool. And ironically, since you talked about lyrics of the chorus, I wrote down here, this is one of those songs where the lyrics are not the highlight of the song. Because they're not great, but like, you don't care. Like, he could be singing the phone book, if they even make those anymore. He could be singing the phone book as long as the music that they're playing is what it's playing. I don't think the lyrics even matter what they're trying to sing about.
And I could be wrong, but I thought I heard a story that on their first record, the singer didn't speak a word of English. So the whole record, he was just memorizing. And so he had no idea what he was singing.
So probably the lyrics are really cool in his own language, and then it translates to something not so cool.
Lost in translation.
Right.
I was looking at their discography, and they have an insane number of albums, like almost one every year for the last, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know they've had a lot of lineups. I think Akira is just the one part of the...
It's not Tokyo Gang.
Maybe over there it is.
I think they have about 30 or so studio albums.
Wow, that many.
It was a very high number.
All right, next up we've got Badlands, High Wire.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up this band because I think they've been forgotten a little bit. They came out right around the same time as Blue Murder, so since we talked about them last time, I wanted to squeeze these guys in and talk about them. Jakey Lee, who was playing with Ozzy, had this band started. Eric Singer, who ended up as the drummer for Kiss, was playing drums on this album, and of course Ray Gillen, the singer, his vocals kind of sore on this song specifically, but this whole album is great. You can hear the songs on YouTube, but unfortunately there was a class action suit that removed
that story behind it.
Streaming.
I thought it was like really gritty guitar work. It sounds like a harder version of Led Zeppelin to me. I could see this being a really cool mosh pit song live, just seeing people having fun with it.
Yeah, fresh off of Ozzy, Jake kind of getting back to more of a bluesy sound and kind of stripped down the guitar tone to more of a monophonic. really identifiable sound during the Badland days. Yeah, just great opening track off the first. Ray Gillen doing a great job on vocals, and of course Eric Singer. He said went on to Kiss. Don't know the story behind it, why it's not on Spotify or it's both. Right at the end of the first record and first tour, Ray Gillen was starting to look a little sick, and Jake even noticed that he was getting real thin. Well, here it turned out that he did heroin with his uncle, and he said he wasn't really a drug user. He just did. It was like a bonding moment because his uncle was like some kind of biker guy, and so for whatever reason, I don't know if it's try everything once kind of thing, but so through that, he's saying that's where he got, but he ended up getting AIDS, and knowing that he had AIDS, still went out on tour and ended up infecting 2 female fans, and they turned around and did the lawsuit and against the record company and the band, and so that's the reason, so the record company wasn't ever going to make any more money on it. So they just started pulling it everywhere and, not promoting it or pushing it. That's the sad story behind that. So yeah, so then
Do we need to say
no, because
that?
he ended up passing away a couple of years later from complications from AIDS.
Next up, we have Keel, Somebody's Waiting.
So Keel, led by Ron Keel, superstar power vocalist. I just love this song. And to me, this is my favorite track off the record. And I know a lot of people, The Right to Rock is usually the song that most people, if they heard of Keel, that's the song that they've heard of. But this is a song that shouldn't be overlooked. And so Ron Keel actually has a tie-in with Yngwie that we were talking about earlier. So his first band, Steeler, was the band that Yngwie was brought over from Sweden to be a part of. The band put together by Mike Varney. It was supposed to be a showcase for Ron's voice, but then you get the Swedish freak come in there soloing a million miles an hour and quickly overshadowed everything else. That band didn't last that long, and then he went on to move on to Alcatraz, and then went on to a solo career. And the guitar player Mark Ferrari, a great guitar player. And that ties into Lynch Mob. So after Keel disbands, forms his own band called Ferrari, fronted by Oni Logan, which is going to be a future Lynch Mob. And so George saw them at a gig and loved his voice, loved Oni, and went up to go steal him and used the classic pickup line, well, would you rather be playing in Ferrari or would you rather be driving a Ferrari? and so that's all he stole the Oni from Ferrari and became Lynch Mob. But yeah, great song if anybody hasn't heard it. Well, I've been wondering. Give it a shout.
Very catchy chorus, especially hearing it a bunch these last couple of days. Not really sure what it's about. Again, another one of those where I'm not sure. I got a little, sounds a bit to be like Quiet Riot-ish.
Yeah, this was another one of those bands like Tangier that was brought up earlier that I was looking to check out, get more familiar with, and this gave me an opportunity to dig into their music. And yeah, it's pretty good music to be discussed here and listened to.
Next up, we've got Jackal, Reach For Me.
No, I love this track. I think it's like the 5th song on it. I mean, everybody, knows, Down on Me and, the Lumberjack song, but this is probably like my 3rd favorite song on the record. So I just was hoping that you guys hadn't heard it and wanted to introduce you guys to it, get it in your playlist. Guitar playing, I love, when it goes into the bridge part of it. I love that they switched the beat up so it's on the upbeat.
Just come on around, mama. Knock on my back door.
And kind of just breaks up the rhythm and adds a nice flavor to it.
Yeah, I love this album. I actually saw them in a small venue in Green Bay. It was so fun. It was the same venue that I saw Widowmaker with Dee Snider and then Body Count. I actually was interviewed by the news because I took my brother to Body Count and his friends, and they weren't 18 yet, and I was, so I was had to be there to get them in. But they had that was really controversial, so they had protesters out there in the news, and all of a sudden here I am getting interviewed on the news. Yeah, Jesse James, his voice is so gritty.
Loneliness, no place to hide. There's no
Awesome groove and guitars. A nice little breakdown, and then the song drops again.
my back down. Then you reach.
I think that's what you were talking about earlier. I love the full throttle saloon show. Jackson and I actually drove out of our way when we went to South Dakota to see it. It was during the day and it was closed, and there was no Sturgis rally or anything like that, so it was ghost town. But I got to at least see where it was being filmed and held. And I also saw him with you at the Myth. So I actually love this band, and actually Down on Me is one of my all-time favorite songs. So but yeah, this whole album is great.
Jackal, great song, great album. They're still touring. They're still making their way to Green Bay. I think just about every year, so you can still go see them. And when did this album come out? 92, 93?
I think it would be 92.
92. Yeah.
92. So I think the biggest fact check question that I would have is this the only band from the genre that started out and had success after the grunge came and crushed them? Because in that album, 92, that is 33 years ago. 34 years ago, and the majority of their set list is this album. So without it, they probably wouldn't have. I mean, they were able to launch afterwards, after the record industry turned them back on that genre. So they're kind of an anomaly in the industry.
What do you think it was because of the gimmick with the lumberjack song? Because the reality is that's not even one of the best songs in the album. There's so many great songs on that album, and it was something different. I know Eddie Van Halen has done stuff, and other guitar players have done stuff with power tools and whatnot, but it was seeing it live in Green Bay. He took the chainsaw out and sawed a big tree stump. So I mean, again, it was I guess maybe a gimmick, but it was fun.
Yeah, I think the gimmick probably helped. I think they made themselves accessible because they were one of those bands when they started out that was known for playing free live shows in parking lots, weren't they? Didn't they play at a record, like an exclusive company parking lot or something like that, or Taco Bell? I don't remember seeing a Jackal video on MTV. Maybe there was. I just remember listening to it in our friend's car, hearing we got to go see them live. They're gonna come play here.
Yo Kiro Lumberjack. Next up, we got Kick Tracy, You're So Strange.
Yeah, another track. I don't know how many people had heard of this band, but especially with this tune, this was great. I loved this one first time I heard it. The lyrics kind of get me a little bit when you listen. Keeps talking about how she wants them, but they're not really vibing on the same. You and I, we always had the right time. Wavelength, and I want to make music, but she wants to make music to me, and it just, the imagery is, I kind of got into it a little bit.
All I think about is making music.
Sometimes you deal with a little crazy depending on the hotness. You remember?
Yeah.
Remember the crazy hot list chart, the graph? I'll have to find that and put it in there. But depends on how much crazy you'll put up with. Here's another song that has a catchy chorus. You're so strange. I think what I love best about this song, it seems to have 3 different parts going on throughout. So heavy. It's got a decent solo. And you just said it, but the lyric, all I can think about is making music, and all she thinks about is making music to me. That was a pretty cool line.
Yeah.
Is making music to me.
Yeah, love this song. Love this whole album. This was another one like Taiketo and King Cobra is in my playlist of songs from the archives that is in heavy rotation. There's actually a version of Simon and Garfunkel's Mrs. Robinson on this album as well that is pretty good. So yeah, if you like this song, you'll do yourself a favor and go check out the whole album. Really good.
Okay.
You're so strange. Sometimes I try.
Next up, we've got Babylon AD. The Kid Goes Wild.
Yeah, AKA the Sam Kinison song. Yeah. I love this one. Love this whole album front to back. And so in this song, so this was actually released as a third single, but the band didn't want it released. They were slated. They wanted their ballad desperate to be released because every band out there kind of doing the same formula where you had to get the power ballad out there. And then the studio came out and told them that we have an option to get this song on the RoboCop 2 soundtrack. If we release it. So when they said, okay, we'll promise release this, the next track we will release Desperate as a following track. And then RoboCop kind of bombed and that ruined all the momentum. And they're like, nope, you guys got to get in the studio. Just cut your next record. So Desperate never got released. And the thing with the Sam Kinison, so the singer bumped into them, Sam, in the recording studio. And Sam was recording one of his records. And he asked the singer to come sing background on the record. He goes, okay, only if you return a favor and you come sing on one of our tracks. I said, okay, deal. So they had a different breakdown written out for Sam. And so Sam goes, okay, let me listen to the track, listen to it twice, and ripped up their lyrics. Goes, no, I got this. So he did two tries, and that was the second of the ones and stuck. And he just ad-libbed it, and it just stuck.
Cops, you're never gonna get me. You'll never take me alive. You're gonna pull that.
So, and unfortunately, so when it got to the record and they went to the premiere and Sam was with them and the AR radio edit cut his thing out. So they were watching the movie and like, they hacked our song all up. This was not. No, they cut it out.
They didn't just bleep it. They cut it all out.
Yeah.
I'm not going down, and I'm not going to jail, and I'm not doing any.
Oh, there's another one that's got a catchy chorus again. I'm not sure the point of the senseless unaliving that's happening in this song. I didn't get that. I do love the Sam Kinison cameo, and like I was pretty shocked the first time I heard it, and then, like I said, before I share an office with my wife now, and she turns like, "Is that comedian that does a lot of screaming?"
This is my night. I'm alive.
I'm like, yeah, it is.
So was this the first time you heard it?
This is the first time I heard this.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So again, it was like, oh wow, that's Sam Kinison. But now I've heard it probably 30 times since we've brought it up.
Yeah.
So I'm not as shocked, or I'm ready for it to come. But again, I'm not understanding what they're singing about or why he's going on this rampage.
Yeah.
You know,
and of course, all this is pre-Columbine and all the other shootings. And, you know, when it came out, we were a little less sensitive to it as we are now.
Yeah, I mean, Pumped Up Kicks doesn't have the exact lyrics that was on here.
Yeah, this track, another one like the Kick Tracy track that we just talked about. This one's been in my library for a while. Great song on a great album. The whole album is great. Bango the Bells. There's
The Hammer Swings Down. Yeah.
Yeah. If you like this one, go check out the whole album. A lot of good stuff on there.
Last up, we've got Disneyland After Dark, Sleeping My Day Away.
Yeah, I love this one from the very first time I heard it. And it's kind of, to me, a lot like Driving and Crying, where they totally have their own sound. I mean, and just the guitar tone is so haunting to me with lots of reverb. It is really catchy.
I got Bad Breath Kiss to His Pillow Pet. That was, it reminded me of Wake Up and French Kiss the Morning by Bon Jovi.
A bad breath kiss to my pillow pet. Takes a look at
It's kind kind of like an up all night, sleep all day, fun song. Verse lyrics are a bit, if I'm going to be a lyric police about it, they're like, yeah. But the chorus is really fun. And again, hearing this song over and over, it helps the work day when I hear a song like this. And like you mentioned, the guitar has a unique sound to me, like a twang, almost. And so that was different. I'm glad all these songs, but I'm glad you brought this one up to my attention. I didn't know that they had pillow pets when this was. So is that what they always called your pillow? Is a pillow pet? Because they actually have pillow pets that my kids have had.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize. I had to look at the lyrics. I'm like, what is he saying? Bad breath, kiss. I'm like, here we go again. Get up. Everybody's kissing things in the morning. After a hard night of drinking, I guess.
Yeah, this was yet another one, Doug, with your song list. I think you really hit it out of the park for me because I've had this one in my library for quite some time. I remember seeing this video on MTV, and back in the day, talking like paper route money would have been my income. So going and spending $10 on a tape when you've only heard one song, I took a chance on this one, and was glad I did because the whole album is great. I love a lot of the other tracks on this one. I don't know if this one's even my favorite. I really groove on Jihad and Rim of Hell, and there's a lot of other good songs on this album that I've had for a long time. So this is another one that's in heavy rotation. So
yeah,
if you like this one, check it out.
Hopefully it's a gateway song. Some fans that hadn't heard it before.
Well, I'm definitely intrigued just by the names of the songs. And, I get a little chuckle at some of these lyrics and whatnot. But, well, we want to know what your 5 songs are. Put them in the comments. Let us know there's songs that we haven't touched on yet that you'd love us to give a listen to. Maybe that we need to give another chance to, or maybe you don't think we've heard before. We'd love it if you would put your 5 in the comments. And definitely like and subscribe. I've got one request: share it with one person. Share our videos with one person. Somebody that the person you're thinking about right now loves hashing up the old music and loves this kind of discussion. Share it with that person just so they can hear it. So that's my one request from you. Also like and subscribe, but share it with one person. Anything else, guys?
I just got one thing I noticed this week that I think you guys will find interesting. We were talking about last week. So John.
Oh, wait. Do we got a bonus news update with Doug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't get as much singing. You said just wait. There's more where that came from.
Oh.
I didn't hear any more.
You psyched me out. So John Sykes was recording a record right before he died and Golden Robot Records is now releasing that. It's a 5-track CD. Where are they?
I think I saw February 13th as one of the dates.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, so they said that, where was their statement? Said that they're releasing it to honor John, completing what we started together and sharing his music with the fans who loved him. It is wrapped in respect, gratitude, and deep admiration for an extraordinary musicians. For fans new or old, this is more than a song. It's a moment, a memory, and a final salute to a true guitar legend. So John Sykes fans, look out for that.
Well, since we're talking news too, I want to hear you guys' take on both of these. Now, I only heard a little bit of the new Def Leppard song, so I want to hear what you guys have to say if you've heard it. I just heard the end of it in the Burger King drive-thru, but I heard a lot of good things, and it's one of those where I probably have to hear a few times. And then I wanted to know if you guys, I guess John Corabi, how do you say his name?
Yeah,
from Mötley Crüe. Corabi, and we're going to be seeing him coming up here.
Tom
Tom, he's opening for Tom Kiefer, so he's got a new album out that I haven't heard yet. So I was seeing if you guys heard either the Def Leppard song or the new album by John Corabi.
No, I haven't heard it yet.
I did hear the new Def Leppard song, and I thought it was not worthy of what they released on their last studio album. Like it would have been of the quality of a song left over from that album.
I see one on the cutting room floor that it's just interesting when I guess
what did you think of what you heard of it?
I only really heard the end, and I didn't think it was that as good as everybody's been saying. Like people are like, oh, I've heard this 30 times now and I love it each time, and I'm like, okay, it was on the hairband satellite channel and we were just in the drive-thru and I heard the end of it. So it was one of those like, am I just being a little harsh, or do I got to hear it a few times, or what? Because I get sharing these videos, we're on the algorithm with a lot of Def Leppard fans and stuff like that. So I've been hearing a lot of like the positives about that song, and it didn't like stick out to me like it's the first time I heard Guns N' Roses or something like that. So I just didn't know if you guys heard it and what you thought of it.
No, I'll have to go check it out, but maybe it'll be like the Vane effect on you.
It could be like all these songs are. In realities, I don't know if any of these songs that we share, if I just heard them on my own without hearing them over and over, if I have the same reaction to them. So I appreciate, and even Vane, like I will listen to that album now too. So apologies, Vane. I was pretty harsh. But now that I know what I'm doing, now that I know what the deal is, we don't have as much controversy because we don't disagree as much as we probably should for a show like this. But we do appreciate you tuning in. If you've made it this far, again, share with one person. 3 Guys on a Record signing off.
Later, guys.